Six Flags for a while now has been known as the discount chain, full of cheap cloned coasters and every once in a while a standout ride. But recently, Six Flags is taking a turn into a new market, families. With new additions and ownership, Six Flags could be affecting the theme park chain industry forever. Today we discuss the new ownership and future of Six Flags. Before we talk about the next family chain, let's talk about the past of Six Flags before 2022. Six Flags was always known as the discount chain compared to Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair invested mainly in one big addition per year, and possibly a couple of smaller rides. Every once in a while, the chain invested in multiple big additions. The best example of that was 2018, with Steel Vengeance, Twisted Timbers, Hang Time, and Railblazer. But the best example of Cedar Fair's style was 2019, with Copperhead Strike and Yukon Striker being the only two coasters built, with some smaller additions throughout different parks. On the other hand, Six Flags would invest in every single park every single year. For many years, especially in 2016 and 17, Six Flags invested in multiple clonable and cheap roller coasters. These were SNS 40 free spins and relocations from different parks around the world. Also, Larson loops were common around the parks because of their cheap nature and clonability. Because the chain was cheap and was dedicated to thrill seekers and teens, almost no family coasters were added to the chain. Even the flagship park, Six Flags Magic Mountain in LA, had almost no family rides, and Six Flags Great America really only has the Whizzer as a family coaster. The same goes for Six Flags St. Louis, Six Flags America, Six Flags Over Georgia, and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom until recently had no family coasters or very few. Six Flags Over Georgia only has Dahlonega Mine Train, which is debatably even a family coaster, as it might be considered a kiddie coaster or too rough for families. But this changed for the better and worse when Salim Basool took over. In November of 2021, Salim Basool took over as CEO of Six Flags and immediately made changes, both good and bad. Let's quickly go through his motives. Basically, Salim Basool wanted to make Six Flags a premium experience. This means bringing in more family experiences, the topic of this video. However, an important note is that Salim Basool raised the prices without bringing any changes to the parks. So the teenage target audience is now paying a higher price with still minimal families. Countless videos were posted about how Salim has no clue what he's doing, and now I'm beginning to think that everyone was wrong. Salim's plan is actually genius to attract families compared to Cedar Fair's coaster-heavy experience because it will make more profit. Cedar Fair doesn't really cater to a specific audience. Instead, they have mainly thrill rides but also themed experiences and some family rides. It's all very confusing. Six Flags, however, is now catering to families with this new ownership, and while they did earn less so far, it should be on the high rise soon. So let's dissect further what Salim's plan of action means for the chain. Let's take a look at the next rides the chain will invest in. The first thing to note is that Salim, unlike previous CEOs, will not invest in every park every year. This means we might not see parks like Six Flags Darien Lake or Great Escape get huge amount of investments in the future. I bet Titan Track Predator will be the last thing Darien Lake sees for a long time. The newest coaster opening in the chain has been Wonder Woman and RMC Raptor announced before Salim's reign, and also Sidewinder Safari, a family coaster that went to Discovery Kingdom, a park that was in desperate need of a family coaster. Also, Diabolical's Cliffhanger was another ride under construction before Salim came into office. The only coaster under construction for 2023 in the chain that we know of is a family thrill coaster called Aquaman. This water coaster will be heading to Six Flags Over Texas after years of waiting. So the only coaster that is known to be opening next year is a family coaster. That was until Six Flags Fiesta Texas, a park that just opened Cliffhanger, started teasing a new family coaster. This coaster is most likely going to be a dueling coaster or something themed to racing due to excessive teasing around racing. Also, the track was revealed for this coaster. It looks to be a track with neon lighting and is a single rail design. Basically, it's guaranteed that Six Flags Fiesta Texas will be getting Skyline's Spaghetti Bowl coaster. Six Flags likes working with Skyline, and a park that needs a good step up from the kiddie coaster to Roadrunner or Pandemonium is an immaculate fit for the second version of this coaster. Skyline also advertised the possible dueling aspect for this coaster, so that is probably what Fiesta Texas will be receiving. So what new coasters could we see in the future? I could also see the self-dubbed new generation Mine Train from Skyline, also known as the Trail Runner, making its way to one of the parks. My prediction was that the Trail Runner would be headed to Six Flags Over Georgia or St. Louis because of the hilly nature of both of these parks, and the need for a family coaster in both of those locations. Six Flags St. Louis especially has a very hilly back section that would be great for a ride like this. Basically, the next few coaster and ride additions for Six Flags will be family additions. Every once in a while, Six Flags may add a bigger addition, but mainly for families. However, I doubt theming will appear at Six Flags parks, as that's still not really their thing, even with new management. Now let's dissect the impact that this will have. Since Six Flags has been the lower end chain forever now, other parks don't need to worry about family editions or big themed rides competing with the other chain. However, with higher prices and more family investments, other parks will start needing to have some competition. Let's look at some of the parks nearby other Six Flags parks. Knott's Berry Farm is about an hour from Six Flags Magic Mountain, and they are both very different. I still don't see competition occurring here. That reason is that even though Knott's has fewer rides and Magic Mountain will be investing in family rides, Knott's still has an insane amount of theming and rides for old guests, still more than Magic Mountain will ever have. Another park to compete now is King's Dominion. King's Dominion actually has quite a bit of family rides compared to other parks, but Six Flags America is nearby still. Six Flags America should be a park getting high family investments due to the lack of family rides at that park. So King's Dominion will still need to watch their backs. King's Dominion has been on the rise recently, and I'm actually returning to the park in 2023 for a hopefully better visit. There are really not any major Six Flags parks near other amusement parks except for Southern California and East Coast. But what will still occur is when Six Flags invests in a family ride, all of the surrounding parks will need to invest in a family ride as well. This will cause some battles for better theming and better layouts on family experiences, which is debatably more difficult to plan than thrill rides because there is a limit before the ride becomes too extreme. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment what you think of Six Flags as a family chain and have a great rest of your day.